What's up guys, my name is John, I'm 16 years old and welcome to another video spearfishing off our boat off the coast of Tsitsikamma, South Africa. This day was a difficult day of diving, but you will watch me spear my first ever Bank Steenbras and also a very large Bonito. I will then also swim with a pod of dolphins and have a few other special encounters, so this ought to be a very good video. I hope you enjoy. So we launched early that morning. It was only me and my dad in the water this day. We had a skipper on the boat, and getting in it became apparent quickly that the visibility was not great. The current on this reef this day was very strong, so we were moving very quickly and I had no idea in what depth of water I have drifted onto already. I then however just manned up, took a breath and swam straight down into the murk to see what was going on below me. And on my first dive I actually landed on some nice fish. So I landed on a big copper Steenbras and a nice Bank Steenbras, and for some reason I just looked straight past that copper and locked in on that Bank Steenbras and I managed to stone it. I've been hunting these fish for long and this was my first ever of the species, so I was so stoked.
Hey, Papa! Banky! Banky!
So even though I stoned the Banky, it still made such a mess of my ropes that I couldn't even untangle it in the water and I had to get on the boat to do it. So I got back in the water, and after that amazing first dive I had high hopes for the rest of the day, but I realized that it was actually pretty dead and that I was going to be struggling the whole day just to get any more fish. Here I've dived down to the 15-meter mark and you can see this beautiful piece of reef I've landed on, but I'm just surrounded by some small fish and some targets like that big red Roman in front of me and a parrotfish behind me. So our entire drift over the reef finished now. We get on the boat and we drive up to the top of the reef again.
Langer water daai hè. Dit is ek kyk om my as ek afduik die hele tyd. Dan gaan die pyl vandag wees hier so.
So we get in and I dive down to the 15-meter mark again and I land on this beautiful piece of reef. Just look at the colors all around me, but still no fish to be seen. I try to be stealthy and keep myself low and hidden in the reef while moving my head slowly back and forth, but I see nothing coming my way. So I did hours of dives like these and we moved spots a few times, but this was finally the next dive where I actually saw some good fish. So diving down I see a school of fish circling me and I stretch out my gun, but then I scare them away and then luckily they come back again. You probably barely saw those fish in that murky water, but that was a school of big bonitos all around me, and I just got my spear into one. But now the fight was on, because I had to get this bonito to the surface without my spear ripping out, because the shot was not the best. After fighting him softly for a while, I got him close and managed to make a lunge, but I just could not get it in my hands. It still had too much power in it. So not wanting to put too much pressure on the line, I just let it run down again. That spear was getting closer and closer to ripping out there at the bottom, so I knew my only other option was to call my dad for a second shot into the fish. And he did so, and then I could finally get the biggest bonito I have ever shot into my hands, and I was so stoked. This was a beautiful fish, and it was going to make for some amazing sashimi later that day. I then just stabbed the fish in the head and bled it, and then we put it on the boat. So then after this, we were driving on the boat when I spotted a pod of dolphins, and I quickly jumped in to film them and swim with him, and boy, it was amazing. So after that, we just cleaned our day's fish, and for a hard day like this, I must say it was pretty impressive, and it was more than enough fish to feed our families, and it was some very tasty fish we got indeed. Thank you all for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider subscribing. Also, the next video we spear some huge fish, so make sure not to miss that. Here's just a short video of us preparing the bonito, but yes everyone, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!
Hij geeft mij die belachelijke vast om te